Nancy. That was said really weird. So yeah, I'm excited just as much about starting these videos back and forth to each other. For anyone else who is watching that's not Nancy, basically Nancy and I talk like almost every single day, and we talk about different topics. We talk about finances and weight and family and politics, and just like the gamut runs wild. So we thought, hey, we're both in a situation right now where we really want to try to get better on losing weight and on just being better overall organized people of this world. So why not start up a video blog and just start talking to each other and checking in on how we are doing. So Nancy, first off, I just wanted to say when I watched your video that on the most suggested videos, one of them was Stevie Wonder's song "I Just Called to Say I Love You," which I thought was like the greatest thing ever. That was like the suggested video, because I was like, that really just like means something. Like, hey Nancy, I just vlogged to say that I love you. Very weird, I know. Just a few things that I thought of while watching your video that I wanted to respond to. I also know the difficulties of feeling like you want to do it on your own, but at the same time, like, I can't do this on my own either, and I'm very well aware of that. You know, I did it on my own at one time, 5 or 6 years ago, but now that my life is different, you know, that was when I was single, and like the only thing I had going on in my life was my job and my home life. And things just are completely different once you get married. There's another person involved. There's food that you're making for them as well. And so you feel like you have to kind of cave to do things that they like. And you know, you want to make them happy when you cook a meal. And so it's just kind of difficult to do on your own without that other person on board. I also know the struggles of traveling while overweight, which is one of my motivating factors this time around. We are going to be going to Disney World in 145 days, and I just want to feel more comfortable while I'm there. You know, I am a lot heavier than the last time I went to Disney World. The last time I went to Disney World was before I had Bailey, and I have gained a lot of weight post having Bailey. I didn't gain a lot of weight while pregnant with her, but it definitely after having her and trying to readjust to a new life with a new being to take care of. So that's one of my motivating factors, is just trying to get healthier for a trip. Chips as triggers, oh, I'm totally there on board with you. I totally feel like I have certain triggers, but that's the thing that I want to work towards, is like not, like right now the only way for me to not be triggered is to not have it around, and that's just unrealistic in this world. So I'm working on trying to still have those potato chips in the house, but not feeling like I have to eat them. I'm glad that you're starting your water aerobics. That's awesome that you're gonna have something that can like excite you about this journey. I always like when people say that, or sarcastically, like it's kind of annoying. But it's good to have something that excites you, and that's kind of where I am gonna tell you something cool that has excited me about what I'm trying to do to be healthier. I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to lose weight and have a healthy lifestyle if your partner does not have that as well. So there's David, my husband. Anyone who doesn't know me, we've been married for almost 6 years, and my husband is also overweight. We both weigh about the same. He weighs like, I think 5 or 6 pounds more than me, which, you know, so we're basically the same. But the difference between him and I is that my weight has not contributed to any like health factors, and his does. He has high cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and his family has a history of heart disease. So he has a lot of factors that are really scary, and I'll admit this here, that I'm always worried about him. I am. I'm always worried about, is he not going to live for a very long time? What does that mean for Bailey and I, financially, emotionally? So it's always been a worry of mine. But anytime I've talked to him about it, he just either doesn't want to hear it, or he feels so overwhelmed that he just shuts down. And I'm the different. Like, if I feel overwhelmed, I'm like, let's do this. And he's like, I can't do this. So last week, he went in to see a doctor because he's been having a lot of knee problems, and they had speculated that maybe he had a torn meniscus and would need to have surgery. So he went in finally to get the MRI done, and the MRI came back clean. No problems, no tears, nothing. So, he thought he was going to have surgery to fix this problem, and instead he's finding out there really isn't any known problem. And the doctor pretty much said, it's your weight that's making your knee hurt. Like, plain and simple, that's it. You have to lose weight in order for it to not hurt anymore. So he spent about 2 days of being very upset and mopey, and we had a few fights because I just can't handle it when he's mopey. I'm like, get over it. Let's do something, because, again, when I get overwhelmed, I'm called to action. So, sorry, I thought somebody was going by. So, we finally had a really good heart-to-heart, and I said, there was this movie that I watched like 5 or 6 years ago before I met you, when I had very good success in weight loss, and I think you would like it, and maybe we should try watching it. So the movie's called Fathead. It's available on YouTube, and it's not by a master filmmaker or anything. In fact, lots of pieces of it are very cheesy, but it just talks about the idea of, fast food makes you fat, and how that's not necessarily true. And during the course of it, this guy decides that he's going to eat only fast food for 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, not only does he lose 12 pounds, but his cholesterol gets better and his body fat gets better. So how could that be so if you ate fast food for 30 days? Well, it's the kind of fast food that you eat, the kinds of foods that you choose at fast foods, and how this idea of a high carb, low fat diet has been pushed on us for the last 40 years. And in reality, it should be the opposite. It should be a high fat, low carb diet. So this guy, he kept his carbs to 100, which when I was trying to lose weight, I was like, I got to keep my calories down. And when I was counting all of my calories, I actually realized I was keeping my calories down, but my carbs were like sky high, because you can get a lot of foods that are low in calories, but they have a lot of carbs in it. And so I did the exact opposite. I followed his advice. This was like 5 years ago, and bam, I lost 40 pounds. So I got David to watch this movie with me, and I could watch, like, there was this light bulb went off. And he was like, wow, I eat a lot of carbs, and that spikes my blood sugar, and maybe that's my problem. And I just it's been very exciting, because I feel like I've seen a change in him, where he's very conscious and is like, well, how many carbs is in that? I got to keep my carbs below 100 for the day. And he doesn't count calories. He's like, let's make every single meal, a very low carb meal, lots of protein, lots of vegetables, not a lot of starches, not a lot of breads, no sugars. So it's just been kind of exciting. We started it on Sunday, so that was 3 days ago. And already, when he's been doing his blood sugar checks for his diabetes, they have been in a great range. And I know that makes him really excited to see that, he is still eating things that he likes. Yeah, he had to get rid of, the sodas and the chips and the rolls. But we went out to eat as a family on Sunday to O'Charlie's, and I don't know if you have O'Charlie's out in LA, but they have really good rolls, and we decided that we were going to have none of them. And he told me later that day, he said, I don't even miss the fact that I didn't have the rolls. Like, I don't miss them. So I'm very excited about this. I'll put the link to the Fathead documentary below. Like I said, it's not made by a great filmmaker. It's cheesy in some areas, but it really makes you think about, golly, like, we are eating a lot of grains and a lot of carbs, and it can't be good for us. So I'm doing this with him. I've done it before we met, and I lost about 40 pounds. So we're gonna do it again. This time we're doing it together, which is very exciting to finally not feel like I've got somebody to enable me and that I am not going to enable him as well. In the 3 days since we've done it, I've already lost a pound, which is really exciting. He hasn't lost anything yet, but I feel like he will like all of a sudden just like take off in a week or so. So yeah, I'm excited about the future and what it holds with that. That's where I'll keep it, talking about that, checking in. There's some other things that I like to talk about with finances, but I'll save that for another video. Nancy, I'm glad that you had a good birthday and a good trip to Vegas. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting, this whole video process and getting to talk to each other on a more face-to-face basis. We talk a lot like this, but it's good to be able to talk face-to-face. And I've been watching a lot of Disneyland videos recently because we're going to Disney World, but the Disneyland ones pop up and it reminds me of the times that we've been to Disneyland together. And maybe, just maybe, I might be able to convince David to go back out there in the near future. So, all right, well, I'll see you on your next video. Bye.